Hi everybody, welcome back another technical demo around the Quarkus application. My name is Daniel O. Today I'm going to showcase how to make it better your continuous testing for your application development, specifically microservices, cloud-enabled application, and serverless application based on Quarkus 2.0. Let's get into the demo, how it works. Okay, first of all, we're going to create a new Quarkus project using a VS Code Quarkus tool. So put in your Quarkus project name and a version ID and artifact ID and one example generate resources like a greeting resource which he generated RESTful API. And once you're done, you need to set it up, your store directory. So now we have a Quarkus test project, but this is not Quarkus 2.0 because 2.0 is not released yet. So, but we're going to use the 2.0 CR. So 2.0 CR3, and then we're going to change the Quarkus program version and also the platform ID, like a Quarkus bomb. And then let's go to the generation example Java resource here. The REST endpoint, hello REST easy. And the return is hello REST easy, just like a hello world simple Java application. So let's try to run this application using Quarkus dev mode. Maybe in Quarkus download and dev, it takes a few seconds to start up. Once your Quarkus application gets started, and then you can find the Quarkus version and then the REST endpoint. And the one interesting is you can find here the test policies, which means when you go to REST endpoint in the welcome page, you can find the REST easy endpoint. Also, there are you can go to there and then you can find the hello REST easy just for sanity test. And then you can actually have a dev UI, which is awesome because it's a little bit more interactive configuration management, or you can find all embedded dependency. Whenever you edit a new dependency, you can find the dev UI. And then there are the auto testing paths because I just click on that and then go back to terminal window. You can find your continuous testing is just get started. So whenever you change your code, so this continuous testing capability allows you keep testing and check your functionality. So for example, here is a test use case based unit test. We have only one test case. Return the hello REST easy, just like our hello endpoint. Let's try to change the code like a hello to hi. And then go back to our RESTful API endpoint, and then just reload that application, and Quarkus will automatically detect it to change the class, and then you don't need to rebuild the compiler, just like a live coding capability. And now you see iOS easy, so your application functionality totally working. But when you go to UI in the terminal console, and then you can find you got an error from your continuous testing capability. So this feature make your application more healthy and robust for your DevOps team. To fix that problem, you go to test cases and change the code like from hello to hi. And they automatically retesting, and then now you have succeed all your tested cases. You can also run the running icon and then click on running icon. You can retest all your use cases. So this is awesome. So let's try to add more test cases and our test capability. In order to add some database transaction, we're going to use the H2 in-memory database and using Panache ORM Hibernate. So, so one of the main concern from developer, they always needed to add some database connection capability on your application. For example, I just created one entity Java class, name is person, using Panache entity class. And then you just define public Java attribute that will be mapped to your database field. For example, public string name and then public string address. This is just fields on your person table on your database. Pretty easy. But in order to connect to database, the developer tend not to install real database like a PostgreSQL, MongoDB, or a MariaDB, etc. So to do that, the developer try to use in-memory database like a HE2, just I edited that extension in Quarkus application. So here's a resource file, and I'm going to add new method to retrieve all data, like a get all method here. So put in the new get method and then procedure, which means I'm going to expose the result output as a JSON format. Just reach to get, oh, you don't need to define like a pre-statement SQL stuff, because Panache allows you have just a predefined method like a list all, which allows you have all data from that person table. And put in the new endpoint like a pass equal, for example, person. So now we have a new endpoint to retrieve all data from person table using Quarkus, Hibernate, Panache, or also HE2 database extensions. So pretty good. So next step, let's try to add the application properly. But for that, let's try to add data, actually data, using import SQL file. So in order to some dummy data in a person table, like the ID, name, and address. And the values to ID, you can use actually Hibernate next sequence variable. And then name, like my name's Dan, and the address like Boston, where I'm living actually. So we can print some sample data for the unit test of this application. So I'm going to print a little bit more dummy data, like a copy and paste here, and change the data like a Daniel, James, and like a city like a Raleigh, and then another name like Eric, and then the city is Los Angeles, something like that. Okay, so I think this is done. In the last step, we're gonna add some configuration, which database I'm gonna refer for this application communication. So luckily, Quarkus provides some data sources here based on Hibernate ORM. And then we're going to define use the HE2 in-memory database, and then URL in-memory like H2 in a database schema is a person, and also the username password to access this database like a person, and then we're going to add the password. So the username password, the all up configuration should be the same or even something different according to your production environment, like a PostgreSQL. So one of the big reasons developers doesn't want to use the same data store just like a production environment, because it's a high memory consumption or really heavyweight installation. So this is the little bit disparity between your local environment and production environment. Okay, go back to Quarkus environment and run the Quarkus application and then try to access it here. So now try to access the new endpoint. Hello, rest easy and dash person. Okay, so we got a two endpoint here. And then now you got to the result, the Boston and Raleigh and LA from Daniel and James area. So pretty awesome. So I'm gonna give some great something like that. Okay, now let's say I'm gonna done my local application testing, and then the next step I'm gonna put in the one more configuration for production environment, such as data source to PostgreSQL, and then the PostgreSQL data source URL, something like that. So one of the benefits of Quarkus, you can have a unified configuration using a prefix like a prod testing, etc. But still, you cannot testing same thing on your local environment. But here's the thing: the Quarkus 2.0 provide the dev services here. So which means the Quarkus dev service is built on test containers. So when you run dev mode or test mode, like beta 5 Maven, and then it's automatically spin up and start your container automatically for your local environment. So I just put in changed my data kind of PostgreSQL, and then just comment my HE2 memory database configuration. Here's one more thing you needed to spin up test container. So Quarkus data source, data service image name, PostgreSQL, or you can use MariaDB, etc. So Just try to make it distinguish it, and I just add one more data here, Justin and solve. Pretty awesome. Okay, so let's go to terminal window, and I'm gonna try to restart my Quarkus application using dev one. And then when you watch the runtime, and you can find your PostgreSQL test container gets started automatically to connect to your local environment. As you see, you can find the Docker client factory running on your test container. And then you can see some of the Docker icon here that you can use a Postgres REST UI. So currently, Quarkus provides some database test container, MariaDB, MS SQL, and PostgreSQL, etc. And then we're going to have more plan to expand this capability for Kafka or some other use cases as well. So when you go back to your call window and try to access endpoint, you can find the new data like just installed. Pretty awesome. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the day.